What is up, guys? Wolfgang here. So today I want to talk about my 3 months that I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5. So let's get into it. Now, real quick, Samsung is not sponsoring this video. I bought this with my own money, and my thoughts are my thoughts and alone. So going real quick into durability, I am really happy with this phone's durability. I've only really dropped it once. It was kind of knocked out of my hand. However, it has not taken any damage at all. The back cover that I'm using is from the later case for the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5, and it did pop off when it fell, but there's no damage. Like, I've checked it several times and there's not a dent, not a scratch on it. So honestly, pretty good case, even though it flew off, which isn't exactly ideal. So maybe if you tend to drop your phone, maybe this case isn't it. But for me, that I rarely do, and if I do, it's knocked out of my hand from like table height. Honestly, it's probably good enough. The materials, I guess in this case, I'm going more for the case material itself. It's amazing how much grippier this makes it feel. Like I said, I haven't dropped this phone, and I feel like while handling it, I have a lot of control, because this thicker and thinner, or how would I call it? Let's say taller and thicker volume or size makes it just fit in my hand very naturally, and it feels really nice. This is something I haven't really experienced with many other phones, especially with normal phones like an S22 Ultra, which I'm recording on. It's like a lot thicker, even though it's tall, like it's really thick, this sideways, I guess. So it just drops more often. So yeah, this phone, this form factor is really growing on me. In terms of the screens themselves, the cover screen I have gotten used to. It does take a bit of time because it is a thin and tall display. However, once you get used to it, this thing is actually very good for most things. And we'll get to that in one of my complaints later. But for most things, you can use this cover display and it's fine. Like, it's not perfect, of course. Sometimes its typing is easier on a wider display. But this is more than enough. Like, this is fine to use. One-handed, it's great. Two-handed, it's pretty good. So honestly, no complaints with the cover display. There are, of course, some things I would wish it was wider for, but like I said, no complaints really. The inner screen, which is the main screen according to Samsung, is amazing. This thing is amazing. When you have more time, you can just open the phone up, type with more ease, watch videos in a much larger screen. It's just overall insanely good. I never thought I would love the Fold form factor this much. One thing that I'm really loving about having a large screen in my pocket is that I can take this as my single device while traveling. For example, I'm planning a very short trip in February that will be 2 nights only. I'm planning just taking this device for all my entertainment. I don't feel a need to take my tablet because it would just be way too much bulk for such a short trip. And with this, I have enough screen real estate. So I want to show you a quick video. This is my most recent video about the Kimuras. Honestly, really solid headphones, or IEMs actually, with a microphone, so I don't know how to call them. But the point is, this is the most recent video. I wanted to show you what the video looks like while using it in the cover screen. This is, usable if you're doing something really quick. And then you can make it full screen, and it's okay. And if you want to leave it in the background kind of playing, you can unfold it a little bit and angle it towards you, which I found pretty nice. I don't do it too often, but it's an option. And then when you open it up, so this is portrait mode, and sometimes it feels larger than the view you get in landscape. So let's do full screen real quick. And when we rotate this, and this is larger, period, but it feels not as large as the other version for some reason. But the point is, you see this is a pretty large screen, and it's great to watch content, especially stuff like 16:9. Look how much it fills of the screen. Now you still do have black bars, but you would never get this size with a normal S22 Ultra or iPhone 15. It's just a lot larger for the content you're watching. And then in the case if you use subtitles or something, that's why I kind of like the black bars in the bottom and top instead of the sides. Well, it would be somewhat easier to read. I don't use subtitles. I struggle reading subtitles and enjoying content at the same time. So yeah, this screen is just overall a content machine, and I love it. Now, of course, there is the crease, which you can see in some angles. Can't quite tell. I think there you can see it, but it is there, yes. However, when you brighten up the screen a lot, or you're looking at the content directly and are focused on the content, not on, looking for flaws, it looks amazing. It's just a really solid screen for content viewing. And the battery life is amazing as well, even using this outer or inner screen, the main screen. So I'm going to pull up the battery stats, but I just want to say I've been using this phone for the last perhaps 2 days, watching a lot of content, using it for messaging, downloading stuff, sending messages, the whole deal. These numbers may not exactly be right, but this is basically what I have. You can see that I gave it a quick charge. What is that? Doesn't really say the time, I guess, but that is about a day ago when it started. So it was a charge I gave it, and then another charge in the afternoon, I believe that would be. Yeah, because today is right now is morning. So you can see I used YouTube for 4 hours and 15 minutes. That is basically all the battery life my S22 Ultra had, and this thing was dealing with it like a champ. You can see it has 6 hours 40 minutes of screen on time. And like I said, these numbers could be skewed. Perhaps Samsung does something to make them more favorable towards them. But this sounds just about how I really used it yesterday. I used it a lot. And the truth is, this phone's battery is insane for, a foldable. It has a smaller battery than my S22 Ultra, but lasts a lot longer. And now I understand why people were hating on the, Qualcomm 8 Gen 1, which is the one I have in the S22 Ultra, because this phone I have to charge in the afternoon or else I'll get really severe battery anxiety. This thing I sometimes slap on a wireless charger just to top it off. And if I'm going out, then I'll plug it in just in case, but I really never needed it. This battery is crazy good. And I'm excited for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is supposed to bring more efficiency to the table, which is everything I'm looking for basically on a phone. The extras I bought, I wanted to talk a little bit about those as well. So the first one I'll talk about is this MagSafe sticker. This thing has been really nice. I like how it's fairly thin, but it also gives some texture to the back, so it makes holding it, feel a little bit more grippy, which I've appreciated holding or having that there. So this thing has been really nice. Since this phone is either really thin or really thick from the sides, it doesn't really fit in the normal mounts that like grab your phone from side to side. So I decided to go for this thing from Spigen. I'll have a link in the description. I forget its name, but this thing works really well. It just uses the MagSafe magnets to hold your phone up. You can mount it to like a display or a table, or I don't know, anything like that really that you can think of. I have recorded some videos on this device, and I'm curious to know if anyone can notice a difference. But the point is that a really nice feature having a fold and using this mount is that while recording, you can semi-unfold it, and then that allows you to record top down and be able to see what you're recording on the top half of the screen. That has been really useful for some of the videos I've made. However, I still prefer the camera quality on my S22 Ultra. So that's why I haven't really fully switched, but I would be able to. Now I keep forgetting what these are called, but the ring thing accessory for the back, I haven't used it all that much because it adds a lot of bulk, but it is really nice to have a firm grip on your phone. Like if you don't feel secure while holding your phone or this phone, this is a really great option. I found a couple of helpful angles while using it. This is one of my favorite ones. To be able to hold your phone, kind of like a water gun or Nerf gun. But this thing, I don't know, I really like it. This is like a more comfortable position than holding it like this. So I've really enjoyed this form of holding while watching content. And well, it's semi-usable on a table to like support your phone. It doesn't always work nicely. Here you can see it does work, but it starts to fall down. And just in case it looked like I was manipulating it, there you go. So it is usable in some angles, but you gotta kind of force it. So let's see. I would say it would go this way to lay it down with a slight angle. And then if you want to tilt it higher, I don't think this is going to be enough. Oh, well, I guess it does work for a slightly taller angle. But yeah, this thing is mostly for a grip, I'd say. Not really for holding your phone up, because it is a fairly heavy phone. I don't really find it heavy, but it's numerically a fairly heavy phone. And then lastly, the accessory that made me jealous of iPhone, the reason I bought MagSafe or bought into the MagSafe ecosystem, is the Rhino Shield water bottle. Now, this water bottle, as a water bottle, it's really good. I'm not a fan of the spout as much as I'd like, but aside from that, the release mechanism, really simple, just press of a button. And however, the main reason I bought it is because it has a MagSafe sort of hinge where you can magnetize your phone to the top and watch content or record videos or receive video calls and not need to hold the phone. This bottle's been amazing. My one issue with it is if you're watching content and you're like me, sometimes you want to drink water as well. Yeah, that's when it gets a little bit annoying, but it's still a really huge plus and it's worth it for me. So yes, amazing bottle. I highly recommend it. And now the last accessory I want to talk about is the S Pen case. So Samsung likes to show off and say it's a really thin case and blah blah blah, and you can do wireless payments with it and etc. It's still thick, especially on the sides, and I think it's a good thing. This one probably holds on better than the case I have on currently, because this one has like a what do you call it, like a lip to grab onto the phone all around. Meanwhile, the one that I'm currently using has like sectors. It has one here, I think one right here, one here, and that's about it. So I'm sure this one holds onto the phone much better, the Samsung one, but it's just thicker. It looks bulgier in my pocket, so I chose to stick with this one. So yeah, I don't really use the case as much as I would like to, but it was a great buy as my first case as well. This one arrived, and in the end I just wanted to keep the S Pen. And now talking about the S Pen itself, well, this thing is really useful when you need it, and really easy to lose when you don't need it. So that's the hard part about having this S Pen. And if you use the cover, it would be much easier. You just store it in here. I keep forgetting how it goes because I don't really put it in here anymore. Oh, this is the wrong way around, I think. Well, it works. So yeah, you just put it in there. You won't really lose it. It doesn't fall out. But if you're like me, I don't use it all that often. I've chosen to leave it on my desk, kind of like this. Makes it easier to pick out. And this has kind of become like a random items tray. I normally have a pen here. I have my earphone case. And yeah, truth is, I don't use it that often. But when I use it, it's so useful for, selecting precise text, for example, when I want to copy that. Or in an image, using Smart Select is really useful with the pen. It makes it a lot easier, more precise, and from there you can convert stuff to text and copy it easily with the pen. Really good. I don't use it all as often as I would like. Now, in terms of price, this phone is still expensive. I believe it's still $1,800. I would recommend not to buy it unless you trade in a phone, because the whole whole price is pretty steep, and it's, you know, not that good of a price. I mean, yeah, it's still expensive. Please trade in a phone. Don't buy it full price unless you only want to test it for like a week and then return it. But yeah, it's a lot of money. Now into annoyances, which took me a while to find them, but here we go. So the S Pen's too thick. Like the S Pen case, I mean, is too thick. That's a small one. Now the thickness of the phone when closed might be an issue for some people. I have really large pockets, so this isn't that big of a deal for me. The main issue or main annoyance I have with this phone is that I don't unfold it as much as I would like. Like I have to force myself to unfold it because the cover screen is more than okay for most tasks, or for all tasks really, I mean. And the inner display, even though it adds a lot, it's kind of an extra step to have to do to get to your phone or to use a larger screen. So I don't unfold it as much as I would like. Now, like I said, if I make myself do it, I appreciate it, but I don't make myself do it all that often. So that's, you know, paying that much money to just most of the time use the cover display is kind of ridiculous. So, you know, take it as you will. It's a bit of a trade-off. And lastly, my last annoyance is with the cover and perfect timing. You can see it's starting to get a little bit like dirty with some sort of oil right there. You can kind of see it right here. And you know, that kind of comes with every case. I believe the S Pen case also has a bit of a smudge kind of right here. You can see it. And that kind of comes with, you know, most matte style cases or even most glossy as well. So that's somewhat acceptable. It's still annoying to have to wash it off once in a while. From my experience, you can just use some water and a cloth of any kind, and you can wipe these off with no problem. But it is still annoying that it happens. Now, as a conclusion, like I said in my first video, I will never go back to a normal phone, perhaps for testing purposes, but after using this phone, I cannot go back to a normal phone. I'll have to stick with fold style for, you know, the time being. And so it's a great phone. Like, it's amazing. I think this is the best time to try out folds, even though a lot of people were somewhat mad about it not really being a huge change from the Fold 4. I think it was actually a great benefit because I was a bit skeptical, a bit nervous about the durability of these phones. And when I saw Samsung do minor changes, that told me, okay, that means they're really confident about their stuff. So, and part of it was because they didn't really have much competition. Now OnePlus has come in, but the point is, them stagnating a little bit made me think they're confident this phone will last. So I'll give it a try. And it was really worth it. I highly recommend giving it a try, especially if you have a, you know, S22 Ultra. They're giving pretty good deals for trade-in. And there are other phones, they have trade-ins, some good trade-ins. They might be doing some promotional trade-ins in Christmas or Black Friday. So keep an eye out for those promotions. And it's a really good phone. I highly recommend trying it out. It's still not necessary, but it is a really big plus to have an unfolding phone, or folding phone, I guess. Now, if you're thinking about either buying this one or the S24 Ultra, or S24 in general, that's coming up in about a couple months, 4 months-ish, I guess kind of 3. The point is that if you're thinking about buying the S24 Ultra, what do I think? Well, they're really very different phones. The S24 Ultra has all the bells and whistles of the newest hardware, has better cameras, will have better processor, has better charging than this phone. But the point really stands that they're not in the same league, price-wise either, but this is a very different phone. So I wouldn't say the S24 Ultra should discourage you or grab your attention over buying this phone. If you're interested in this phone, I recommend to stay interested in it. And yeah, look out for those deals that are coming up soon. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, the subscribe button if you want to watch more videos like this one. And well, leave a comment if any thoughts or any questions you have. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.